people who are going through diagnosis and treatment. And so our foundation is all about creating a direct impact on those patients who need help. So that's Don't Mind Me, and I'll hand it over to my mother if you want to do a little bit more of an intro on GMM.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Mädchen here. And Mina said it so eloquently. Our quick wrap up of our personal family journey. And it's one of those things where you don't see it coming. It's not something that you plan as parents raising your children. You worry about all these other things, and then the last thing that you expect is they might be dealing with a mental illness. And what's so hard about that is I think we're just really lacking in the space and in just our upbringing and the way that we talk about it, and how our general practitioners don't really get into mental health much right now. Like everyone that's going back to school, we all need to get our yearly wellness exams, but what we're missing in that is our mental health checkup. And so we wanted to just share our story as a family so that people out there won't feel alone. You all have very unique stories. We're all very, very different. And at the same point, we're all so much the same and have so many similarities in struggles and successes. And so we wanted to share our story and also create a nonprofit mental health foundation, Don't Mind Me. And we're one of the very few out there that are going to be direct impact, which means we're going to match people up with resources that they need. And those that need the help, that can't afford it, we're going to sponsor them into treatment. So we've got a lot of work to do, but we just love these conversations with you guys. And we have partnered up here with Echo Labs, and we've created a special NFT that's launching for sale, and proceeds will go to our nonprofit. And just through this process, we've gotten to know so many amazing people, and we have a really special therapist joining us today, Gabby, and she'll answer some mental health conversations. And so incredible to meet you and host with us here, Holoplex. Thank you so, so much.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. I'd like to hear a little bit from Echo Labs. Can you tell us more about your organization and what you plan to do in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Alyssa Shea. I'm the founder of Echo Labs. I stepped into the NFT space specifically as an opportunity to make a difference, I think, in the mental health community and as an artist. So I'm a filmmaker first. That's actually how I met Mädchen. We actually bonded over mental health advocacy, though, before we started working together in our respective industry. And she, this space I feel like can be a bit of a tricky one because there's been a lot of exploitation in it at the moment while it's finding its footing. But what I thought was if we could bring some trust and value, we could start to build better conversations around NFTs as a whole. And so as an artist, it felt like a opportunity for like a resurgence of a Renaissance era where artists could put out without like unadulterated, untamed by anybody else's opinion, and I think that that's where the most beautiful art comes out of. So in that, I reached out to some of my dev friends and I was like, guys, I have this idea. I have no idea if it's going to work, but I have to believe there's an audience out there of people who could benefit from, I think, the decades of struggle between all of us that we've put together of finding resources. They didn't know how it would be received in the finance world, but they were crazy enough to go on this journey with me. So I really appreciate them. Shout out to my team. And so I decided I reach out to Mädchen, and I knew she was launching her foundation. And I said, what if we did an art project where we could give the proceeds to getting people into treatment? And a little bit about my story. I grew up in a pretty traumatic, I had a pretty traumatic childhood, just a lot of up and down. So I had pretty significant anxiety and depression, but I didn't even know that's what I had because I had experienced it from as early as I had memories. So coming out of that on the other side was an entirely different journey. And my frustration lied in when I was at my lowest and I really wanted help, I didn't feel like it existed. I felt like it existed for everyone around me. It existed for addicts. It existed for the people who were causing the pain, but not for the receivers. And so that's where I got really ambitious about figuring out, like, how do we help everybody and how do we create spaces for that? So that's sort of what my mission came out of. That's Echo Labs is our ideally, we want to become a charity launch pad. So in this would be our first example where we went out, we found Don't Mind Me. They have needs, we vet them, we figure out what they're going to do with our NFT and the proceeds that come from it. And then give that so that we can actually make direct impact differences for people and get these charities that are doing very noble work and thankless work. Because I feel like charities actually in the NFT community have similar reputations where they get exploited a lot, where people just take money and redistribute it in ways they shouldn't. But it doesn't. I don't think that should deter us from not stepping into the space to do good with it. So Echo Labs' long-term plan is to be a charity launchpad and bring in new users and create a space where we can do good and feel good about it. We're going to use our strong suits where we will actually be held accountable by doing follow-up, like docu-series type episodes. So you will get to see directly how you have impacted other people's lives, which I think is the ticket, or which seems to be the most effective way for people to feel involved and like they are doing good in the world instead of just hoping that other people execute with their very, very hard-earned capital. So yeah, that was very long-winded. Thanks for sticking with me.
That was
It was
awesome.
beautiful. Yeah, and we're so excited about our collaboration with Echo Labs and Elle. I don't know if Elle Street Art is on here, but she's our amazing artist that worked with my mom Mädchen to create this collection that has mental health at the heart of the art itself. I don't know, Mom, you might want to go into more about that because you worked with Elle directly, but a part of our work in the art space is that we want our actual art, our music, our paintings, our NFTs to also reflect our journey in mental health, and that collection, I think, does a really great job doing that.
Yeah, and I think that, one of the things that Alyssa and I really bonded over was the way mental illness is depicted in art, whether it's film, television, commercials, photography. I mean, it's really embedded in there, and unfortunately, it's a very salacious. What are the other words? It's like
It's
such
just
an easy,
exploitative. It's very exploitative.
perfect. Exploitative. It's like, so many times as we see in films, like, there'll be the villain, the bad guy, and oh, let's just slap a mental illness, and that'll excuse that away. And that's not, first of all, I don't think that's very good filmmaking, and also it just drives more of a stigma to mental illness. And